The law of attraction and the universe can push us to do things we never thought we could do in the first place.
November 2018, you're working as a supermarket cashier. Fast forward to today, you're flying a private jet to Paris, but you're also gonna fly your Bugatti supercar in the hull alongside with you. Carl, how is this even remotely possible?
Long story short, I started to research online about visualization, law of attraction, and I felt like that should be the answer. 3 years after quitting my grocery store job, I did buy my Bugatti Veyron, my dream car. That was such a big moment for me. It just made it feel like I can do anything.
What is the state of Bitcoin? Because a lot of changes have happened.
It's crazy. The crypto space has now gone from a very small industry to be talked about on the highest levels of society. We have Donald Trump right now. We have countries buying Bitcoin. So not only is their money flowing in, but they are inspiring other big entities to do the same. So Bitcoin could easily go above 250, 300K in this cycle. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin goes even higher than that.
Your brother has Down syndrome, and you really feature him a lot on your channels. Tell me about your relationship.
He's the best person in the world. In the family, we all say he's the favorite. It's just undeniable. But yeah, he's been through a lot. Leukemia twice, a heart failure, and not only that, but also 11 surgeries on his leg to get this huge lymphangioma away. But he was never complaining. He's a very strong little warrior, which is insane.
50 years from now, what are you going to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered as someone who inspired people to change their life. That power lies within everyone. You just have to tap into it. We're unique individuals living our best life on a never-ending journey to become the best version of ourselves. But I think that's the journey that also connects us.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is...
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Carl Runefelt, aka Carl Moon, the former supermarket cashier turned YouTube influencer, cryptocurrency investor, philanthropist, and entrepreneur. You are one of the biggest figures in crypto, known for your bullish takes on Bitcoin, bold market calls, and lavish Dubai lifestyle. You are the host of The Moon Show, your YouTube channel with 100 million views and have amassed 5 million followers across social media. You've been featured in Forbes 30 Under 30, Fox News, and Business Insider. You're also the CEO of the Moon Group, founder and CEO of CryptoJobs.com, and an active investor in over 400 crypto startups. You believe that Bitcoin is the Noah's Ark in the economic flood that is coming, and a hedge against a failing financial system built on debt and manipulation. You've said that Bitcoin is getting ready for a huge resurgence, and that altcoin season and the bull market are delayed, not canceled. You're also passionate about giving back, actively supporting charities for children with Down syndrome and other disabilities. Carl, welcome to London Real in Dubai.
Thank you so much, Brian. A pleasure. This is our third time, I guess, now.
Yeah.
And I sincerely believe you are the best interviewer that I've engaged with. So happy to be here again.
Dude, I'm pumped. Our previous two were remote, so this is the first time in the flesh, and we're going to crush it. So look, I got to start and zoom way out. I mean, let's just get everybody up to speed. It was November 2018. You're working as a supermarket cashier in Sweden. I've seen the photos. You had a picture of a private jet on your phone for inspiration that your coworkers used to make fun of, all right? Fast forward to today. Next month, you're flying a private jet to Paris, but you're also going to fly your Bugatti supercar in the hull alongside with you. Carl, how is this even remotely possible?
So, I mean, if I go back to when I was in the supermarket, that was a time when I was very confused about who I wanted to be or who I was. And I felt like I was not really, doing something with my life that I could feel proud of. And I also had this bad sensation of my parents were disappointed in me. And that was one of the triggers for me to feel like I need to do something with my life. Like, I don't want my parents to look at me with disappointment. I want them to look at me and feeling that they're proud, Like, I think everyone has that feeling, right? And I used that feeling and made a change. I was like, I have to now do something about it. So, I mean, long story short, I started to research online about, visualization, law of attraction. I even felt like that information about the law of attraction and about visualization, it was like getting pushed to me, actually. Like, I was seeing, signs and seeing, it was like my intuition or signs and nudges from the universe that I have to look into that. And I felt like that should be the answer. So the moment I realized that this seems to be the answer, I just researched everything about the law of attraction, quantum physics, how everything is just energy. And I realized that everything is energy. The world, our bodies, our thoughts, our words, our feelings, our actions, and our beliefs, everything is energy. And energy will attract like energy. So I realized that what I have to do is I need to change my energy in order to change my world. So I was sitting in a supermarket as a cashier, and I knew that I can actually almost like quantum jump, you could say, into a future where I can be whoever I want. And what I was visualizing was being wealthy, being healthy, being free, flying around the world in private jets, because that was always one of my dreams, having crazy supercars like Bugattis, which has always been also my dream car since I was a kid. And I realized that all of these things that are in the future, they're just energy, and they're just waiting for me to attract them or to accept them, like they already exist. It's already like, it's not like I have to, people make it seem like it's a mountain to climb. But the moment you feel like that, that's when it becomes hard. But when with the law of attraction, if you feel like you deserve something, or you believe that you will get something, and you feel like you already have it by being grateful maybe for already things you have, then you put out an energy into the world that will attract that reality. So that's what I was doing, long story short, basically. And 3 years after quitting my grocery store job, I did buy my Bugatti Veyron, my dream car. And that was such a big moment for me. That was incredible. That was, it just made it feel like I can do anything, and that helped me also then visualize and conquer new goals, because I knew that if I can do that, I can do anything. And I also know that everyone can do it, because I was in the supermarket. I didn't have, money available or like any network, no connections, at least nothing that I could use for what I eventually did, which was crypto, right? So if I can go from there to there, then yeah, and anyone can do it. And it all starts in the mind and the energy that we have.
So it's almost like these things were there waiting for you, and they're just waiting for you to change the state of the energy, and then they flow right to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say like this, like there is a perfect future for everyone out there, like where we are our best version of ourselves, and that future is just waiting for us to accept it. Like we have to accept the destiny and like choose to attract it, and it is there. So I think everyone has these different versions of realities that are just dormant until we accept them. And if you never change your vibrational energy to accept it, then we will always keep in the autopilot default reality, which is usually very 9 to 5 or like hamster wheel or anxiety and just normal day stresses that keeps us in a perpetual loop of negative thinking. And that is actually also a very important point, that you can of course use the law of attraction for good, but if you're not using it at all, then at least it will still be using you, because if you keep negative thoughts and normal thoughts and start just think about your normal life, then you will attract more of that, because those thoughts have energy. So actually the law of attraction is like gravity. It's not something you believe in or not, like it's there. It's more like a radio. Are you tuned in or are you tuned out? So it's very important to be mindful of the words we use and the thoughts we think and the actions we take, because it's all gonna completely choose the reality we live in.
You're attracting a new reality every single day. You need to be conscious of it and try to attract something high energy, something beautiful, some dream. Or if you're not careful, you're attracting the same or worse. If you're
Something
engaged
bad.
in all these self-deprecating thoughts and negative energies, you're just taking yourself even further down. But it's happening regardless.
Yeah, exactly. We have those friends that everyone knows someone who always complains, like, oh, I'm so tired, like, oh, I woke up so tired today, like, oh, I have to go to my job, I hate my job. Like, all these words, it literally creates the reality that we're in. And even when I was in the supermarket, I was always, when I went to the supermarket, I was thinking like, okay, I'm happy to go to the supermarket. And I was like, I came into the supermarket and I said hi to my employee, like not my employees, but like my colleagues, in a very like friendly way, like a happy way. Like, in the morning, some people come, oh, hello, how are you? I was like, hey, what's up guys? To bring that vibe. And then my time there was actually pleasant. Like I enjoyed working there on a day-to-day basis, because I was using my thoughts and my mindset to kind of get by. Then obviously long term, I knew that for my soul to like feel really like happy and free, I need to do something more extraordinary. But even the small mundane day-to-day tasks can be made into something more fun. Could be also going to the gym. Like instead of saying, oh, I have to go to the gym, it's like, yes, I get to go to the gym today, So these words and feelings are very important.
I got to interview the woman who made the movie The Secret, Rhonda Byrne, I think is her name. And she told me about the making of it and how it was crazy. They were almost coming off budget, but she had the whole crew not thinking that way, just thinking positive. And she said the quickest hack for attracting money and success is to be happy. She's like, if you want a hack, you want the one word and you don't want to read the whole book, be happy. And you just said the same thing. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because that state, that energy alone is probably going to get you 10 times further than everybody else.
Yeah, and I think maybe some people will be triggered like, oh, how can I be happy now when I feel so sad? But I think the easiest way to be happy in the moment is actually to start with gratitude. And gratitude, we all can practice it. It's actually easier than we think, because sure, maybe someone might say that, oh, they're so poor, they have a bad situation. But even in that situation, probably this person still has running water, probably still has a warm shower, still probably can afford to have food on the table, hopefully. So, and even if that's not the case, there's always something we can find to be grateful of. Maybe at least your parents are alive, your sister's alive. Like there's something you can sit down and reflect and think, I am so grateful for that thing. And that feeling is actually a feeling of abundance. Because when we are grateful for even the smallest thing, it's an energy of I have instead of I have not, you know? So I think that is probably the key to the happiness, and that will actually help us then attract even more greatness. And speaking of that, I think that many people are always, you know, they're looking for happiness in the future. And when they think like this, it's very hard to be happy in the moment, right? Because we're chasing happiness. But actually, I think we should always realize that happiness, it should happen now. It should be really right now. And we have things available to us to feel happy. And then we just need to work with that to then attract more things. And then eventually, when you come into your true self and you're attracting your best version of yourself, sure, you're going to have even more things to be happy about, but it has to start now, you know? I think that's very important.
I think that's important. And if people struggle with that, I would say there's so many people that achieve their goal and are disappointed. You know, the guy gets the gold medal and he never practices the sport again. You know, you finally make your X and you realize it wasn't what you thought. And so you, wherever you are right now, with the dream itself, the place where you don't have what you want, but you can see maybe getting there and you're putting everything in line and you're keeping your discipline up, that is something you might not even have when you get to the destination. So you want to be happy to have a dream,
yeah,
you know, that's not yet fulfilled. And so just having that is also something to be grateful for. Your fingers, your toes, your food, and a dream that you're passionate about.
Yeah, you know? Very well said. I think that's so true. I think the journey itself is more fulfilling than the goal itself. 100%. I think the happiest time I ever had was actually in the very beginning of my journey. Even actually maybe like supermarket days when I made the decision, like I'm gonna change my life, you know. It made me so happy knowing that I was taking control of my life again, and then seeing those first progress, starting to make some money, you know, this first initial success of like transformation, that made me so happy. Now, when I'm used to many things, certain things I need to like remind myself to be happy about it. And I realized that we get used to things very fast, right? So, you know, yeah, day one of having the Bugatti, I was euphoric, you know. Right now, it's becoming, let's say, more like daily life. But I would say always like being in a perpetual energy of transformation and always wanting to become better and more, and not necessarily money, but just like could be learning a new skill. And I know that you are doing a lot of like new skills. You're learning dancing and like break dancing. Like I think these things keeps us on our toes and keeps our mind engaged and keeps us from becoming bored and depressed. I think we need to always become better. And I think that's the journey that makes us happy. That's what I feel.
So it's like that concept of beginner's mind where, you know, you basically suck at what you're doing and you're constantly faced with your own failure, but you're learning at this massive rate. And that's kind of an exciting time to be alive. But also you're getting feedback that you're not very good at it. But it's something, if we can always keep ourselves in that state, then we're constantly curious and like constantly trying to get better. That's kind of where I am at with Law of Attraction. So about 3 years ago, I went to one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshops. I'd known him for years. I'd interviewed him in this setting, but I'd never been to one of his shows. And this was like a 7-day, 2,500 people, and Joe's in the front all day, him. And I couldn't believe what he was doing, but he got me into this walking meditation that I do pretty much every day, Carl. And I started attracting things. Before that, I was this grind type of guy. And the results have been incredible, you know, really incredible.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing with the Law of Attraction. It will surprise ourselves even, you know. I think the Law of Attraction and the universe can push us to do things we never thought we could do in the first place. And because I was visualizing a lot of the stuff that I have today, but many things are even greater than what I visualized. You know, the universe really rewards you when you take that step, you know. So I'm very happy about it, and it completely changed my life.
It's funny because I went to MIT, right, which is probably one of the best technical institutions in the world. And, you know, there's no Law of Attraction course there. You know, it's thermodynamics and it's physics and it's material science. And so maybe it's a bit more of a leap for me, but I'm also an engineer.
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside I view is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the investment club.
And an engineer looks at what works and does it more. And so I don't know why it works. I can't explain how it works, but I know it works. And so once I find something that works, I just try to double and triple up on it. And that's what I'm doing. And then sometimes I'm thinking, is it working? And then I'm like, bro, look at all these amazing people that have come into your life this week with these crazy opportunities. Of course it's working, dummy. Keep doing it and keep being careful. And I was always one of those guys that would say, once I get this, I'll be happy. Once I get the job, I'll be happy. Once I get the millions, I'll be happy. And now I'm trying to always remind myself, no, now is the time to be happy. But for me, it's a constant reminder, and I have to constantly try to stay grateful.
Yeah, I think we all struggle with that. Like even myself, like everyone thinks maybe I have it all figured out now, but sometimes I also struggle. Like I have to remind myself as well to be happy sometimes. Sometimes I get annoyed with things I should just not get annoyed with, you know? I think we're all human, but that constant reminder is very good. And actually, I think it's very good to have a routine. So I, to this day, ever since 2016, 15, when I started doing these visualization techniques, every day I tell myself, at least for 2 minutes per day, I tell myself, I am happy. I am rich, I am successful, I am proud of myself, I love myself, I love my life, I have this, I have that, all these different things. I just for 2-3 minutes per day, at least. Sometimes I get carried away, I'll sit there for 10 minutes, but just 2 minutes, that's all we need, because that's a powerful, energetic moment where you're saying these powerful, potent, energetic words that send this message out to the universe, and it just reprograms our subconscious mind, and that's how we unlock the power of the law of attraction, because the subconscious mind cannot actually tell what's true or false, or what's happening or not happening. So if you say I am happy, the subconscious mind will actually take that as a fact. And same, if you say, I am tired, it's also going to take it as a fact. And it's going to actually change your whole, your environment and your body. So very important to reprogramming our subconscious mind, because that's going to, flush out the bad and in with good, and which will then be the basis for our manifestation. So that's very, very important. So yeah, 2 minutes per day. Let's not make it too complicated,
Yeah.
People think, like it's gonna be so tough and complicated. They have to sit and like meditate for like 1 hour every day. Like it's not so hard. I never did visualization for 1 hour in my life. Maybe maximum like 5-10 minutes. Yeah.
I'm good friends with Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he always says, Brian, the words become flesh. That's what he said. The words become flesh. So your thoughts become words. Words become flesh. And most people would never compliment themselves that much. Matter of fact, with social media, almost every image you scroll by, there's someone doing better than you. And so it's really easy to get into a rut like, I don't have the Bugatti, I don't have the girl, I don't have the jet, I don't have whatever. And your mind just will easily focus on that.
Yeah.
And rarely is there a time where you're like, wow, I'm amazing, I'm happy, I'm rich, I'm whatever. And so 99.9% of the people out there never probably have 2 minutes, maybe in their life, where they say that. And that's probably the results they get.
Exactly. Yeah, because when people focus on what they don't have, then that's a feeling of lack, not abundance. So it's the exact opposite of what they should be doing.
And they attract more of it.
Exactly. So then you just get more of lack. So yeah, it's a bad cycle that people are stuck in, but it's because no one ever told them. So hopefully people watching this now will get reminded and actually change their routine and just incorporate 2 minutes per day. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to start doing that too, so thank you. So law of attraction came first before crypto. And also I'm curious, how did crypto come on your radar? And is crypto an energy as well that's very much linked to that law of attraction?
Interesting questions. So, I mean, first of all, yes, I did my law of attraction practices before I even knew that Bitcoin existed. So I clearly attracted that reality of myself, being that crypto guy, because I had no clue that that even existed. I'm very happy about that. I found passion for Bitcoin and crypto, especially Bitcoin, because I feel like Bitcoin is a important thing for humanity, because it's freedom of money for people. It's people's money, because the money people use today, which is not really money, it's more like bank currency, that's the banker's money. They create it out of thin air. They can print it with a button on their computer, and by doing so, they inflate the supply and steal actually money from the holder in the bank account, because that's dilution. That debases the currency and devalues our purchasing power. So that's an evil system controlled by, in my opinion, a very evil cabal of bankers. And up until Bitcoin, the only solution would be gold. But the problem with gold is that, you know, it's amazing in almost every single way, but it's not digital. So in a world where we live today, like in the past few decades, we've built a digital world. So like most of our society transacts and works online. So gold becomes not the best solution then. Better than the fiat system, yes, in terms of freedom of money, but it's not so efficient. So Bitcoin has everything that gold has, but it's also digital. And that's the key. Bitcoin is like gold, but digital. So it's actually better gold than gold itself, in my opinion. And that's why the moment I heard about Bitcoin, I stopped buying anything else. I just put all my money in Bitcoin, all my grocery store money.
Crazy.
And then I started my YouTube channel. I started educating people, started making money from sponsorships and affiliate links. And I started, really building a capital with Bitcoin. And every money I made, everything went to Bitcoin. So I was just accumulating, and it felt so good knowing that I'm taking a big leap against the banks. Not only am I taking my money from the banks and putting it into Bitcoin, but I'm also inspiring other people to do the same. And the more people that buy Bitcoin, the less power the banks will have. We're still early, so right now Bitcoin is very, very early, but I want more and more people to take that step, because it's like a vote. Buying Bitcoin, it's a vote against the banks. So I feel like it's my responsibility to not keep money in the banks, because I don't want to give them that power. I have a little bit, only because I, of course, have to do some, pay salaries to employees or buy certain insurances, whatever it could be. But everything else, I keep it in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and that makes me happy. And actually, many people ask me when I talk to them, like the people outside the crypto, they ask, like, Carl, you have all this money in Bitcoin, like, how do you sleep at night? And I tell them, well, that's how I sleep at night, Because if I was like you and had all my money in the bank, and the bank controls my money, and they have to ask me questions when I withdraw or when I'm sending money somewhere, like I have to send them papers, no, that does not make me sleep at night.
Well, let's talk about that, because most of us are taught as kids, probably still today, to save your money, save your pennies and put it in the bank. If you're taught anything about money, I mean, as Robert Kiyosaki would say, schools teach us to be poor, and they don't even teach us anything about money, which is crazy, because it's something you use more than chemistry and Chinese history and all the other stuff they're teaching us. That's a whole nother conspiracy theory. But most people think, I save my money, I put it in the bank. But as you said, there's inflation, there's taxation, there's money printing. And how do you explain to a normal person that their money's being stolen from them? And the worst thing, Carl, is that it happens to the lower income people more so than the wealthier people. Wealthier people know, maybe I buy assets like real estate or gold. If you're a lower income person, you get a bigger check during COVID, or you get more benefits. You think, oh, this is good for me. When in fact, it's actually even worse for you. But how do you get people to understand that? Because we grew up in a world of fiat currency. I think it was Terence McKenna that once said, I don't know who discovered water, but it certainly wasn't a fish. And we're kind of born into this matrix of fiat money when in fact it's kind of all a lie. And when you see Bitcoin, you can see it's a lie because it's a parallel universe like in Star Trek. But before Bitcoin existed, it's very hard to get people to see it.
Yeah, so basically this mentality of saving money is something that of course comes from decades ago when the money was gold, when it really made sense to acquire money, hold it and put it away, because in the future you might need it for something else, right? That's quite basic. That's how money should work. But for that, you need something called hard money, which is gold and Bitcoin and anything else which is hard to produce more of. Easy money, which is fiat currency, which could be the dollar, could be any other national currency. They are not backed up by anything, and they are easy to produce. They are easily dilutable, and the supply expands when they print more. So easy money, hard money. And if you want to save your money into something, it has to be hard money, because then you know that the supply is somewhat protected over time, because it costs money to produce more of it, or time or energy. Like gold, for example, it will cost you time and effort to mine gold from the earth. That's how that works. That's why you don't find gold laying around all around. You know, like you can't just go pick up gold from the streets like this, because then it would be easy money. So that's the difference between gold and then fiat money. When you look at Bitcoin, for example, not only is it hard money because you can't produce more of it above 21 million, you can still mine Bitcoin until 21 million, but up until that point, then it stops. So Bitcoin not only is hard money, but actually, in my opinion, I would like to consider it the hardest money in the universe.
Right.
Because there's nothing else in this world which is that absolutely finite. Everything else can technically produce more of it, you know? So gold still has a small inflation. Every year you still see people mine more gold, but it's still so small that it protects the value. It's a very controlled inflation. But even with gold, if the gold price starts surging, let's say like it is right now, then in fact, it will be more profitable for people to mine more, and that should actually increase the supply a little bit faster, so the inflation goes up, and then it could correct the price and make it a little bit harder to keep going up in price. With Bitcoin, that can never happen, because no matter what the price of Bitcoin does, Bitcoin will never go above 21 million. And with Bitcoin mining, there is something called the difficulty adjustment, which is an automatic difficulty adjustment. So if Bitcoin goes up in price and it becomes more profitable to mine, the algorithm itself, like without any human involvement, it will automatically adjust and make it more difficult or less difficult to mine, to adjust for the new demand or the price, meaning that it's perpetual self-fulfilling or self-regulating, let's say. Self-regulating. So it's a beautiful invention, and blockchain, which Bitcoin is, the first blockchain, it's a genius way of creating a platform where people can store wealth independently without human involvement or human trust, and you can be 100% sure that that's going to remain there. You don't have to be afraid of dilution or such things. So it's a beautiful thing. And I think it's maybe the most important thing that people should learn about is Bitcoin and how to secure their wealth. And speaking of energy, which is your second question there, everything is energy, like I said, and including money. So when it comes to hard money and easy money, hard money is good at containing monetary energy, while easy money is bad in containing the monetary energy, because when you have a bucket with a hole, it will just keep flowing out, right? You need to have a bucket which is contained, where you put something in and it doesn't exit, right? So that's Bitcoin. You put monetary energy inside, it stays. No one will take it from you. Then, of course, due normal supply and demand, like you have sometimes demand will go up because, you know, Trump tweets about it or something happens. There is some kind of economic crisis. Demand can go up and then the price can go up a lot and then it can go down again. But that's just pure supply and demand. It has nothing to do with the debasement of the currency itself. So that's a big difference. And you will always have volatility with all new interesting things. So Bitcoin will be volatile for the next 10, 20 years probably. I welcome it. I'm fine with it. But people just need to learn what it truly is. And when they know what Bitcoin is, they will stop thinking so much about the volatility and they will just be happy that they have one Bitcoin. You know, like one Bitcoin will be one Bitcoin today, tomorrow, next week. That doesn't change.
Yeah, I think Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy, Now Strategy, says the volatility is a feature, not a bug. And you can't get 60% annual returns without something like 60% volatility. And so you want to look at it that way. It's just a different kind of money. This is your third crypto cycle. So tell us, what is the state of Bitcoin right now? And even maybe to look back a year ago, you know, we had a different president, we had a different SEC chair, we had just got the Bitcoin ETF versus now. How do you see the world? Because a lot of changes have happened.
I mean, look, the crazy thing is like when I went into crypto in 2017, just to even imagine that the president of the United States would be so open about it and endorse it actually would be such a, it was outside of reality somehow. Funny thing though, like I think 5-6 years ago, on April the 1st, maybe it was 2020, I think, I actually made a April Fool's joke on my YouTube channel where I faked a tweet by Trump saying something like, I am buying Bitcoin, and then I faked something, you know, like something about China or something funny, you know, and actually, like people that watched that video in the first few seconds of the video, they thought it was true, but obviously it was just a joke. Right. But it was like, for me, that was like the most surrealistic thing that could have happened. So I was like, that's a funny joke. But now it's a reality. It's like he literally is tweeting about buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and altcoins, and it's crazy. So the crypto space has now gone from a very small industry to at least be talked about on the highest levels of society. So that's good marketing for Bitcoin, and I'm happy about that. Then it should be said, like I don't endorse any politicians. Like I'm very against like establishment in that way. So I'm very, you know, in that sense, I don't want to like endorse any politician. I know that they just tell us what we want to hear, so that's that. But that said, it's very good marketing for Bitcoin, and I'm very happy about that. So it's the next 10 years. I mean, I think Bitcoin could easily go to not only millions per Bitcoin, but could go even higher than that per coin.
I think 13 million is the Michael Saylor call. And so now we have a president who literally said at the Bitcoin conference last year, never sell your Bitcoin. He said it again at the first crypto summit in the White House recently. Obviously, Gary Gensler's gone. Interim SEC chair is dropping lawsuits everywhere. More ETFs expected. And, you know, all sorts of companies now in America seem to be going full throttle. So that's all super positive. At the same time, you got President Trump dropping his own meme coin 2 days before he takes office. I want to get your thoughts on that. And he's got his own DeFi platform, World Liberty Financial, that is run by his two sons, and he's on the board or something. His picture's literally on the website. That's meanwhile buying all sorts of altcoins up and just issued their own stablecoin recently. And you've got some real blurry lines on conflicts of interest here. And I'm a Trump fan, and I think he's done amazing things for the industry. But, you know, you have to look at that because he divests all of his assets from the Trump organization, but then he tweeted out about his meme coin a few days ago. So what do you make of all this?
I mean, honestly, like, I don't know what to say, to be honest. Like, it's, I'm still a bit shocked, actually.
Do you think we're living in a simulation, Carl?
I mean, it is a simulation, yeah. Like, we live
this
in
is proof, right?
Yeah, like, life is crazy, right? So, when I went into crypto, there was only 7,000 altcoins. That's it. There was Bitcoin and 7,000 altcoins. Right. Today, I think there's like 12 million altcoins.
I think there's like 37 million now.
Maybe,
I saw a tweet today.
Yeah.
Probably growing geometrically.
Probably, yeah. Like if you count like like literally all the coins, like because anyone with a computer can just like do this and create 100 coins today. So yeah, maybe it's 100 million.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
So, but the problem with that is that that's, again, inflation. And when it comes back to hard money, easy money, we have to differentiate between Bitcoin and altcoins actually, because Bitcoin is truly hard money. Altcoins, not so much. It's not bad, but I wouldn't call it hard money, because whether it's 12 million or 30 million, like that's debasement of, amount of altcoins. And there's only so many people in the world, like 8 billion people. So that's only so much attention that you can put on something. So just because you have more altcoins doesn't mean that you get more attention necessarily, because the amount of people don't expand, right? So that's a problem. So talking then about the Trump coin, I think it's, when he did it, first I thought it was a scam. The first one day I was 100% sure that he must have been hacked. Then when I realized it was true, I was like, wait, this must be good for crypto, right? I was like, wait, is it bad maybe? I was so confused, is this a good thing or a bad thing? But I was like, it must be a good thing. For crypto at least, because it's marketing. It also shows that the US president is not afraid of launching a coin, meaning that then everyone else should be fine launching coins, right? There's been so much talk about securities and illegal coins and all these things, but if he's doing it, then what's stopping, then anyone should be able to do it, right?
Can't arrest the president. Well, you probably can, but less likely.
Yeah, less likely, right? So then I was like, this must be good for crypto. But maybe at the end of the day, he's only going to be in office for so long. So it also is possible that this coin could go down a lot. People lose a lot of money. I actually, to be fair, only lost money on it so far. But the next president could, of course, see this as a bad thing, right? And say that, well, this was very reckless, which I would maybe agree with, because launching a meme coin 2 days before going into office, and it is a bit reckless, right? So that could maybe lead to more regulation down the line. So I don't think for these 4 years, obviously, I don't see him doing that. But whoever picks up might have a different thought on it. So honestly, I don't know. But for crypto right now, I think it's good, yeah.
Right. So that's the Trump coin and World Liberty Financial. It's still bullish because he's aligned with the industry evolving.
Yeah, I mean, for the industry, for the crypto industry right now, I think it's a good thing. Yes, okay. I think so. But yeah.
Okay. So you made your case on Bitcoin. I was talking to Anthony Pompliano recently on my show, and people have known him. He's been around for a long time. And he said, he calls it like this, Carl. He says, Bitcoin is your savings account. He's like, that's something you always put money in and you never touch. And then the altcoins are things that may be more like investments. They have risk to them. And you can put some of your money there. But remember, Bitcoin is a savings account. I thought that was an interesting analogy. That being said, you're not afraid of altcoins, especially maybe top 100 market cap altcoins or top 50. And I think you've already tweeted about positions in Ethereum. I don't know if you're an XRP. I know you were looking at SUI and things like that for a while. What altcoins do you like? How do you get your head around them? How do you position yourself? I know you trade. I know you make a lot of your trades public on your Twitter as well. So how do you look at those?
Great question, because the thing is, when you go into crypto as a beginner, you get very easily carried away with altcoins. Yeah. You think you missed the boat on Bitcoin, you don't see the upside anymore, so now you want to go into the altcoins. But in general, altcoins is a great place to actually lose money with that mindset. Because chasing the hypes and chasing what other people are talking about, when it comes from not your conviction, but someone else's conviction.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you.